Just getting some links up. Bear with me. Enjoy this comic art while you're waiting. You're getting there. There's just so many social media platforms now. But I'm old, so you know. Let me do a couple more here. I'm still here, everybody. I am still here. This is not a blank stream, I promise you. I'm just going to do one more. Here we go. Spider-Man. BMC Comics. Yo, how's it going, man? How's it going? Hope everything sounds good. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh. So, I thought I would start off with a little show and tell of some books here. Some new, some old. Well, they're all old. Some new to me, some old to me. This last week, I did a signing at Challengers Comics on Wednesday here in Chicago. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who came out for the signing. And then on Saturday, I did a signing at In This Issue Comics in Bettendorf, Iowa, which is a shop run by my good buddy Justin Fa, who is an old friend of mine. And while I was there, his shop has an amazing back issues selection. Everything from like cheap dollar books to stuff that's collected to stuff that's hard to find to gems to graded stuff. It's a really fantastic shop. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's the Quad Cities, like it can't be as good as blah blah blah. No, man, it is a really good shop. And they do have an online store. So if you are looking for something cool like back issues or graded comics or the Schlub exclusive cover that we did, you can buy it via their shop if you go to In This Issue Comics web store. And they are, like I said, in Bettendorf, Iowa, but they do ship things out. They sell tons of toys. Justin's really into all different parts of the hobby, and so it's a really great shop. Anyway, while I was there, I was like, dude, I'm looking for some old Predator comics and some old Aliens comics. Two that were on my sort of list that I've always wanted to pick up was, well, both of the early Predator series that Dark Horse did, that Chris Warner worked on. The original one he did not have, unfortunately. That's the real one that I want. If anybody has one out there, I'm happy to trade for it. And then another one that I wanted was this Aliens Newt's Tale. I remember seeing this comic all the time when I was a kid in the comic book store and knowing about aliens and being like, what's this comic? Unfortunately, this one has some great covers. I have both issues here. But the interiors aren't drawn bad or anything. But the story itself, the first issue, is basically the parts of the alien script that were cut out that show Newt and her family encountering the aliens. So if you've seen the extended cut, you've seen what's in this. And then the second issue is just Aliens, just the movie Aliens. It's just basically the script adapted into a comic. So, you know, I was hoping it would be a little more interesting than that. I like the idea of hearing all about Newt's tale, like what happened when she was all alone and stuff, but it doesn't really go into that as much as I would have liked. That being said, look at those covers. Dango dang, those are good looking covers, huh? So it was cool picking them up, and Justin was very gracious to help me get these. And then the other one is the Predator Bloody Sands of Time. And so Chris Warner is one of those awesome artists that worked on Predator in the early days. And he did the original series, which is fantastic. And then I guess this one, which I had never read before. But, you know, I looked at it, and I saw the covers, and I was like, well, this looks cool. You know, it's like World War I or something. And he's there. And so I was like, great, I'll pick these up, you know. And again, not to be mean, I don't think Dan Barry and Chris Warner care what I think, but kind of not a great comic. It's don't get me wrong, the art has some really strong points going on, and you know, there's some really cool panels of the Predator doing his thing. There's some cool gore and stuff, but the story I found very, very hard to follow. Extremely hard to follow. I couldn't really tell what was going on. It's a guy looking back on history and talking about soldiers who encountered the Predator, I guess, but it's like very disjointed. Unfortunately, because there is some cool art in here, and even the art is there's just some weird transitions from panel to panel. But there's some real gems though. But the whole series is worth the price of admission for this drawing right here. This drawing is so awesome. I can't really get closer, guys. Sorry, I don't have the best camera. But man, this is rad. It's colored well too, which the rest of the book is whatever with the colors, but like this is so awesome. He's like standing up with his foot on this wheel, the crazy lightning in the skull. Oh man. That's rad, man. That's the juice right there. Other than that though, this series was, yeah, whatever. But it does have some of the first ads for Batman vs. Predator. The next issue has the Batman side on it. And so that's pretty cool. And that's a fun series. That was Andy Kubert and Dave Gibbons wrote that one. And Andy Kubert did the art. And man, it's a really cool comic. If you guys haven't picked up the Predator vs. Batman that they did back then, it was really good. And then some ads for the Aliens vs. Predator series that was coming out. And some other interesting stuff. You can see who was in Dark Force Presents at the time, which is kind of interesting. John Byrne, John Arcudi, Anthony Smith, Rick Geary, Dale Eaglesham, Eric Vincent, Frank Miller, and Eddie Campbell, our boy Eddie Campbell, friend of the show. Next Men. These are the comics I remember seeing on the shelf that I didn't really buy or want to buy as an 11-year-old. Look how cool this Terminator ad is, though. That's pretty awesome. So anyway, that's Predator Bloody Sands of Time. And then I don't know if I've ever showed this off before, but I was just pulling out my 2 issues of the Wildstorm Anthology, the short-lived Wildstorm Anthology. So Wildstorm did a anthology, kind of like a Dark Horse Presents type of a deal. And this is it right here. And you know what? I'm just realizing this looks like the car from the movie The Car, which I just saw the trailer of the other day. Anyway, if you guys don't know, Aaron Weisenfeld was this artist who worked at Wildstorm in the 90s and early 2000s and did not a ton of things, but everything he did is pretty fantastic. He's for the amount of work he did, the quality of the work is outstanding. And he's one of my favorite artists. And he no longer does comics, which is kind of a drag because he's super awesome. He does great fine art paintings and drawings. They're very wonderful. If you look him up on Instagram, you will see all of his amazing work. But I don't think he likes to talk about comics anymore. But he did these 2 issues, 1 story continued between the 2 of Deathblow here. And his other thing that he did that a lot of people know him for is this issue also has a Louis Simonson, Walter Simonson Gen 13 story, which is kind of wild. But anyway, back to Aaron Weisfeld. He did a book called Team 7. It was one of the first things I saw him on. And Team 7 is the origin of Grifter and Deathblow and a lot of the guys who turn out to be Gen 13's parents, dads. And Deathblow is one of those guys. And then Aaron Weisfeld did a series called Deathblow and Wolverine. It was a Deathblow Wolverine crossover, and it's amazing. It has all the best things of like a Frank Miller Wolverine story, a Jeff Darrow book, and like I don't know, like a Michael Golden book, like all rolled into one. It's a really awesome 2-issue series that they did, and it's colored by Monica Bennett, and it's really, really fantastic. I'll pull it out sometime if people haven't seen it. It's very good. And then he did this, and like that's it as far as I know. I mean, there's probably a few other issues he did here and there, but this Gen 13 is pretty wild. It's not what you'd expect. Mike Zeck Grifter, pretty cool. Not that you can see anything with my lighting. My apologies, everyone. Now let me turn on another light over here. See if this helps. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Mixed lighting sources here. I don't like to work with the other lights on, but if that's worse, let me know. But if it's better, great. Anyway, here you go. This is it. It's a black and white Deathblow story. And man, the detail and the lighting and just the overall sense of space, great paneling, really smart choices about solid blacks. And it kind of just starts in. Some guy rolls in this museum, grabs a bunch of ancient armor and starts throwing down. And then goes out into the city of New York. This page right here lives in my head rent-free forever. It is like the best, just the best. There's so many cool things going on here. Everything from the letters of the honking between these borders here, which, you know, I'm sure the letter had a lot to do with that. Mike Heisler. And then the way this glass shatters on the windshield. Man, that's cool. His posture, all these cars, you get a sense of everything. And he's using zip tones. I mean, it is such a cool comic. So if you can find these, they're usually pretty cheap, but I don't see them around too much when I'm digging through bins. I don't think the print run was super high on these. I don't know. But if you see either one of these issues, they're both good. The first one is by it is inked by Aaron Weisenfeld as well. The second one is inked by Scott Williams, who a lot of people know as Jim Lee's inker, and amongst other things. But yeah, so right back to it. Man, I hate the change they did in the paper stock here too. You can see a little bit of the difference in the inks with Scott Williams. He's got a slightly more. He uses a pen, and he gets that really thin to thick bounce over surfaces, and then really straight and kind of cold lines a little bit on some of the things here. But you can see a difference in the way they ink, a lot more cross-hatching and stuff. But still, an amazing story, amazing storytelling, really cool drawing, great staging of the action. This is like just, I think, a really perfectly made comic. And it's just stuck in a couple issues of Wildstorm. It's pretty wild. Just really quick, just because I thought of it. One day I'm going to have to get on here and sing the praises of Nick Manabat, the late Nick Manabat, who did Cybernary. I don't know if anybody ever watched Cybernary or read Cybernary, but Nick Manabat was also a amazing comic artist that didn't quit comics, but was I believe he died of some type of blood cancer, unfortunately, way before he should have. So anyway, just want to show those off because that's what I was looking at recently, and they came up on a podcast I was just on. I was just on the Tradecraft podcast with J. Alex Morrissey, and it was a really wonderful conversation I had with Alex. It was we go really deep into life stuff as an artist, but also talk shop on how we work and how I do my thing, and we talk about the Schlub. I talk about original art, and check that out, Tradecraft Podcast with J. Alex Morrissey. But today, we are going to do a little drawing here. I'm checking with the chat here. Eli or Ellie, I keep not knowing. Your buddy was just talking about Wildstorm earlier. Yeah, man. Wildstorm is what I came up on, man. Being a Jim Lee mark like I am, yeah, it was my thing. So I got asked on the Discord server for the KLC Press folks, what my pen since I ink myself, what do my pencils look like? And I said it varies, and it depends on what I'm doing. But right here you can see this is probably as far as I'm going to go with these pencils. I think I'm just going to go for it with ink, and that's what happens sometimes. I just kind of go for it and let things happen. It's a good exercise for me. It doesn't always pay off, so this might be a total failure tonight, but we'll find out together. Ichthus, thanks for saying hi. Good to see you. Mr. Ichthus here down in the chat, he did a little live stream the other day where he colored a drawing of Cirrus that I had done. So I'm sure, you know, I was out of town when that happened, unfortunately, so I couldn't join in, but I'm sure you should all go check it out because it's so fun to see people work. If you like watching me work, you probably like watching him color. It's a totally different experience. Nice guy, though. Glad you're here. It said like Eli. Said like Eli. Okay, Eli. Great. I see. Eli. Yeah. Eli is a great name. That is one of my favorite names, actually. Eli as Eli, or short for Elijah, I think it's a very powerful name, you know. So we're just gonna be brave here, guys. We're gonna go in here and just see what happens with the ink. We're gonna see if we can make a fun Spider-Man. I penciled this. The other reason this is so loose and we're going to go with it is that I penciled this earlier tonight when I was still I was on kid duty. And I finally got her to, you know, she likes to actually play and talk and stuff, but I got her to play a little learning game on the iPad for a minute. And I was like, okay, I'm going to knock this thing out for the stream tonight. So... Also, my window is open, so you're probably going to hear the sounds of my neighborhood and get some insight into my life. It's just a beautiful day here today with lots of great breeze going, so I couldn't not have it open, you know. I wanted to kind of, when I do Spider-Man, it's fun to, I've been looking at a lot of the Todd stuff actually, because man, the distortion is so cool, and it's kind of freeing in a way, so I'm looking at that. I'm not sure I got that finger exactly how I wanted it, but you know, we'll see what happens. A favorite Spider-Man artist? Well, like I said, I was looking at Todd a lot recently, and he's probably up there. But I don't know. That's tough. I mean, John Romita Jr. is, in my opinion, kind of sets a high bar as far as like what he accomplished. But sometimes I'd rather go style over substance, I guess, or over longevity. I really liked Bachalo's recent nonstop Spider-Man run, and his other stuff on Spider-Man has been really great. Well, I was just looking through my Michael Golden Artist Edition, and that Spider-Man story he has in there is, oh boy, it's hard to beat. McFarlane for sure, yeah. I don't know if I could say. That's a tough question. There's so many good people that have worked on Spider-Man. Stegman, of course. How can I forget Stegman? I think I appreciate the stuff that is more on the expressive side, you know. So that's maybe what would put some of those other guys a little higher than even a John Romita Jr. for me. But don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm a huge John Romita Jr. fan. Oh, thanks, Ichthus, for the compliments on the design. Nice work on the colors. I really liked seeing how those turned out. Um, but yeah, coming up with that costume was hard, man. It was very hard. So I'm glad that people are digging it. I don't know who you guys like. Who's the best Spider-Man artist? Y'all think? I'm probably forgetting somebody. I always do. You know how it is. Yeah, that'll work. Um, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really trying to do some cool stuff on the Schlub, so I'm glad you're noticing. Oh yeah, Ryan Otley. Yeah, Ryan Otley's good though. He's good. Yeah, I like Ryan's stuff a lot. I feel like he's got a couple different modes. I kind of like the less hatchy mode. You know, I kind of like him paired with an inker. But I mean, his stuff on his own is amazing too. I got the chance to meet him a couple years ago at C2E2, and he was really nice. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously legend. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a legend. Don't know why I didn't think of him immediately. I think I associate him with Invincible most. So I don't. But yeah, Otley's good. Otley's good. Oh yeah, we're gonna make this work, folks. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our darndest here. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. When I was growing up, I feel like there was a lot of the main guy was Mark Bagley, and his stuff is cool. Pretty good storytelling. Um, Again, I think I always just go a little more for the extreme, distorted stuff because Spider-Man is so wonky as an idea. Like being a spider, he should look like I totally agree with Todd McFarlane on that. Like he should look weird and spidery, like not human when the mask is on. And of course, you can't go wrong choosing one of the classic guys like Ditko or something. Um, Mark Bagley. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember Bagley. You know, at the time when I was that age, his stuff. I was so used to a lot of Jim Lee and those guys that were very, the Scott Williams inking style too. That's very sharp, And Bagley's stuff was always a little bit more gooey and bouncy. And back then, I don't think I appreciated it, but as I got older, I could really see I try to have a little more bounce in my stuff and not have it be quite as cold. So, Bagley's a great choice for show. For show. I just got an idea. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I might do something weird here and just erase all. Well, I'm trying to debate how well I can. Well, let's see. Yeah, Eli. I remember Todd talking about that. I was watching a video of him the other day, like how he would do all the overlapping and everything. And that was really cool. It also kind of makes the characters, they can be bigger on every page because they're kind of squished up. Sort of Frank Miller style or Richard Corbin style, where their posture in combination with foreshortening and everything, kind of you can squeeze a whole figure into a small space, and so they feel so big and chunky. I try a little bit of that in the Schlub just because I really want Cirrus to feel big, and heavy. So I didn't really figure out my letters, but I want to have some letters on here. So I'm just gonna, let's see, we might just eyeball all this right here. I can't think of a good reason not to. So who cares if you can read it? Everybody knows who he is, right? So it's like you might as well do something interesting with the letters because everybody knows it's Spider-Man. So how can we just kind of make them an element of the composition, It doesn't have to be, exactly legible. People's eyes are smart, and like they'll see, they'll see what you're doing. Like clarity is important when I'm working, but lately I'm kind of like style over clarity anytime, like because if people want to look at it, they'll figure it out eventually. Like they'll figure out what it is eventually. You can be a little more abstract, whereas like if it's perfectly clear at all times, it's sort of I don't know. It's sort of it's boring. Like once you've read it once, you're done with it, right? And I don't want that. Like I'd rather have something that you want to look back, like this Aaron Weisenfeld book I was just showing you. I've had that thing since 1998 or whenever I bought it. I look at it all the time. I still see new stuff in it. You know, that's the goal. Not not in and out, get people some super obvious experience. You know, that's Spider-Man, Spider-Man. My daughter was watching Spider-Man today. That's why I decided to draw Spider-Man. She's been sort of getting into superhero stuff on her own, even though she's only 3. I swear, it is not me doing it. I promise you. She can get into whatever she wants to get into. But it happens to be superheroes right now, so can't complain. So we were watching one of the OG cartoons, because I think all the different versions of Spider-Man are on Disney Plus. So we were watching, well, not the original. We were watching the one from 1981, the year of our Lord, the year of my birth, 1981, and that one's not very good, but you know, it held her attention for a minute, so I could breathe. All right, this could be cool. That's right. Exactly, Eli, exactly. Water break. I was having some trouble printing the pages I need to work on right now from the Schlub. My printer was being a real asshole, and so but I finally got them going today. The ones I was meaning to get worked on today, and you know, I need to be working on those, but I did want to do a stream tonight, and I did kind of have this just loose Spider-Man. I was like, you know, it'd be good for me to loosen up, because I had been a little off from some of the characters for a minute in the Schlub, because I'd been doing some other stuff, and then so when I got started on this new batch of pages, it felt a little bit off. So I was like, maybe if I do something loose like this Spider-Man thing, I can maybe get my mojo back a little bit. So you know how it is. I'm getting way too complicated on this already. I should just chill out. I should so I can actually get my actual work done. Let's be more efficient. Here we go. So see, but if I do this thing that I want to do, I think it's gonna look really cool. Derek, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, Derek. Let's see. Aiden Barrett. Hey, Mr. Cannon. Mr. Cannon. Main tip for aspiring artists. Draw like a lot. Draw a lot, basically. And if you want to make comics, then make comics. You don't get better at making comics by doing anything other than making comics. So those are the main things. Get critiques from people and listen to them. Listen to the critiques. Try to adapt. Try to take as much from them as you can when you get critiques. What else? Take breaks. Get inspired. Hang out with other artists. Yeah, there you go. That's my advice. Yeah, Spidey is cool for that. So now I have to decide. Do I want to... How do I want to do this? Black might be the way to go with dots. this is such a mess right now. This is how I work though. So what I'm debating doing is like a grid kind of situation here that spells out the words. That would be a lot more work, but it could look cool. Signing was good, Derek. It was awesome. Yeah. Hanging with my pal Justin, and his shop is just really fantastic. I mean, he's my friend, but it's a really cool shop. It's a really cool shop. It's so welcoming and so well kept, you know. It doesn't feel gross. And that means a lot when you're in a comic book store sometimes. See, the question is will I be able to do this grid without breaking out curves, and will I have curves that are the size that I just did this at? Probably not. So we're gonna just roll with it, baby. My backup plan is to just do it as a sort of a speed line thing. Actually, you know what? I'll just combine the two. Got it. Spider-Man. Okay. Oh, cool. You got a portfolio review by Steve McNiven. That's awesome, dude. I'm sure he was nice. He's a very talented, or I shouldn't even say talented. He's a very accomplished artist, as everyone knows. I'm glad you did that. That's really smart. Thank you, Eli. Schlub is awesome. Looks great on the shelf with that cool cover. Thank you. I agree. I think it does look great with that cool cover. I think we did a few things right, you know, and I hope that everyone discovers that. And I'm really proud of the book, and I'm really happy, you know, that it's out. And I thank all of you that picked up a copy, because it means a lot to me. This is the thing I like to do and I want to do with my life, and it's nice when you can hear that people are enjoying it, and that I'm not just wasting everyone's time. So yeah, thank you everybody that picked it up, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. We have so many crazy things coming up that is just going to blow your minds. It's going to blow your minds. Yeah, the book has been a lot of fun to work on. Kenny and Ryan are great. There's there's so many twists and turns ahead that when they happen, I will be here giving you guys the behind the scenes of what happened, because it's been a wild ride, man. Oh, great. You got Dan and Trad, Wes Craig, Juan, Paul, Cully, Lionel. Wow, you hit everybody, man. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for checking out. Yeah, thanks for the kind words on the Schlub, too. Yeah, dude, that's a great group you got there. I'm sure all those guys were happy to do it. I feel like I've had the pretty good luck when I've tried to get portfolio reviews from people being generous with their time to do it. And so anytime I get asked, I will 100% do it. It's fun, and it's inspiring, and it's I know how much it meant to me when artists would give me some time. And heck, I still ask people's opinions. You know, I still am asking, like, what do you think of this, and what do you think of that, and trying to talk shop with folks and get better, because that's what it's all about, man. Getting better, working hard, having fun. It's not always fun, but that's what you hope for, you know. Like I'm excited now, and especially like I'll have my copies of issue 2 in like a week or two, and it's just crazy now that it's coming out. It feels fast, you know. And since I've been sitting on this for so long, you know, I've been unable to really show or talk about it, and so I'm really excited for everyone to see where it's going. And it's really lighting a fire on me to get issue 6 done, but also just to make it super rad. Issue 6 is looking cool. It's looking very cool. All right. Heroes next year. I hope so. You know, some people have always told me like don't go 2 years in a row because people get tired of you at a lot of shows, but it's weird because I feel like last year's Heroes, everyone that was tabling was telling me that they felt that the year before was really well attended and then this year was not. It's because everyone else did the same thing. You know, a lot of the attendees didn't come this year. That being said, I had a great show and I didn't feel that way, but I'd never done it before, so I didn't have a bar to really compare it to. But then I was like, well, if everyone's going to come back again next year that wasn't there last year, then I should go again, you know? So I did have a really good time at it. So when the apps go up, I will I'll very seriously consider it because it's my kind of show, man. Definitely. All about comics, all about art, you know, all about the storytelling. That's what you want, man. You know, got to fight through crowds of cosplayers and stuff. I mean, there is cosplayers there off and on, but it's definitely a different kind of show. I might have to do that after erasing. So we're going to do some erasing here. Yeah, definitely. If you got a portfolio together, come on down to the show. Come either way. And don't feel like your portfolio has to be finished. There's no such thing as a finished portfolio. Having something to show is the most important thing because then you can, if you don't have something that you need to have, you'll find out when you start talking to people what that is. And you know, so just bring what you got and get some advice on it. You could have 2 drawings and it's worth getting some feedback on. And it won't take that long. So I used to bring mine around at shows, and you know, like I said, a lot of artists were really gracious to give me some time, and it did make a difference. And I didn't even agree with all of them all the time, but it's always good to just get reactions to the work and see how other people are seeing it, because you can't really step outside of yourself and look at it, right? So you sort of you're reliant on other people to, you know, to get that reaction and see what's working in the same way you expected it to and what's not. And then you get better at sort of getting the reactions you want more often than not, and getting things dialed in to where you understand how they work, if that makes any sense. My favorite comic artists that inspire me. It changes a lot over time, you know? And there's a lot of people outside of comics that inspire me too. But right now, I would just say who I'm looking at right now the most is Jason Pearson, Michael Golden, Trad Moore, Jim Lee, those are the main ones right now that I can think of right now off the top of my head, that I've been looking at their work a lot on work days and like kind of studying it, trying to take away some things that I can apply to my work. So those are the ones right now. All right, this is looking pretty cool, right? Or am I crazy? Let's see. All right, I think that grid is still the best way to go. But I need to being pretty loose here, so don't expect me to break out a ruler on this one. Mazzucchelli, yeah, Mazzucchelli's great. I was actually just looking at Batman Year One earlier today because it's one of those books that everybody has, and so I never had it. You know what I'm saying? Because I always was just borrowing it from somebody. And then my wife's best friend of mine too, I guess I'd say, my friend Paige, she is cutting down her collection, and so she said, "Hey, you want some comics, some graphic novel, some trade paperbacks?" And I said, "Show me what you got." And she gave me the Batman Year One, I think one of the newer printings of it, and the whole Ultimates 1 and 2, which I love. That's my favorite thing by Brian Hitch and Paul Neary. Their stuff on Authority is really great too, but man, oh man, that stuff on Ultimates has been really, even in reference for me now, like as I'm working on these big battles in the Schlub. Oh, did I just spoil something? Big giant battles in the Schlub? Yeah. Anyway, so I got those from her. And so I was just looking at Batman Year One earlier today. Long story short. Or short story long. Year One's good. Oh, thanks. Yeah, that cable. I had done that quite a bit ago. But man, I like that one. It's for sale in my web store. Everyone keeps telling me how much they love that cable at shows and on my Twitter and everything. And it's for sale right now on TyrellCannon.com, and nobody has bought it. I was actually, just earlier today, I was thinking about taking it down because I was like, I really like this one. Maybe I'll just hang on to it. I was talking to my older brother earlier this week, and he was like, "Are those your original drawings that you got up for sale?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Don't you want to keep those, like, for yourself?" He's not an artist, like a comic book artist, and I was like, "Not if I want to pay my rent." So, but I told him how, yeah, a lot of people sell the pages, and it's a good way to get a little extra dough on the side. Kind of necessary. So I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll keep that cable." But I liked it. It turned out good. I like when I can go a little more cartoony. That style is kind of hard to do across an entire book, so the stuff you'll see a lot of times on my sequentials is a little more subdued, because if you abstract, a character too much from page to page, I mean, I'm all about kind of weirdness and abstraction and stuff, but you want it to at least be consistent enough that it doesn't, pull people out of the experience, So now I'm trying to decide how to proceed from here. Like right now, the decisions I'm making are about where do I want my blacks to be. And this is sort of just problem solving on the fly. Like what's going to be the best result for this? Oh wow, you're going to buy a year one of floppies, huh? Well, hey, if you got the cash, not a bad idea. I think a lot of things do look better in their original format of the printing. Occasionally you'll get a release of older stuff that looks better nowadays, but it's nice seeing the original issues too, just to see what was it that people were seeing when they were responding to it at the time. What was the parts that they were responding to. Okay, we're going to pull out a couple tricks here and see if we can make this work. If not, hey, you get to see a failure live on YouTube. Okay. Spider-Man Doppelganger. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool. Born Again for 75. Oh, that's not too bad. I lucked out, and a friend of mine gifted me the Born Again Artist Edition, and it's an artist proof, so it's pretty rare. So I'm like kind of scared to look at it sometimes. DC Unwrapped books. Oh, cool. Tony Daniel's in those, huh? Yeah, Tony Daniel's awesome. He's a beast, man. I remember he was back in the day. I liked the way he distorted figures and stuff. I'm not sure if he's exactly like that now, but back in the day, his stuff was rad. So rad. See, yeah, this is. See, that's what I should have done on these other ones. Yeah, that's better. Fuck it. Change course here. Pardon my French. Okay, so now we got to figure out how to fill this in. And I think we're going to just go for it and see what happens. I don't know if I want to use this pen though to do that. Let's go with this older one. Yeah, screen tones for sure. The cable piece I was talking about earlier has screen tones on it. I love working on with screen tones. I usually do on the streams, actually. We'll see if this one needs it. Usually if I've painted myself into a corner, as I have here, I end up using screen tones. Now I'm like, oh, should I just do that? I think if I did that, which is going to be more efficient is my question. Because one way I have to fill in the blocks and the other way I have to scratch out the blocks. I'll stick with plan A for now. We'll see what happens. Go with your first instinct. And it doesn't really matter what this is like right back here. Just gotta sort of sell the depth a little bit. Yes, thanks, Eli. Yes, the past streams you can see me do the old screen toning. It is very fun. It is very fun. And I can't remember, I might have showed this on an earlier stream, but I also bought some manga-sized paper. And I'm going to start messing around on that and see sort of what it feels like. Maybe, I don't know, maybe for an Inktober or something. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, I thought it'd be fun to just try working at that size and just see sort of what that's like. And, you know, if it's possible to do something interesting with it. You know, for me to do something interesting with it. Obviously, that it's possible because, well, manga, right? But... Alright. I'm already not quite sold here. Let's see. Let's see what I can do to salvage this here. All right. I might go screen tones actually. So that makes me wonder how I want to... I'll do this. We're just gonna... knock them in like this and use our grid as a guide. It's okay to be loose is the lesson I'm learning. The lesson of my life. Just gotta loosen up. Favorite comics? That's a long list. Akira's probably on there. We 3 is probably on there. What else? Prophet, the relaunch of Prophet is probably on there for me. Big Questions by Anders Nilsson. Black Hole by Charles Burns. That's another big one for me. There's some random ones. 40 Days Dance in the Desert by Mobius. Domu by Otomo. Weapon X is definitely on there. The Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X series. Those are the ones that I would say are pretty consistently on there. Okay, so now I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to give a little something else to this before I cover it in screen tone. Next Issue Podcast. Hello. God Country crossover, Born Again, Snyder and Capullo's Batman run. Very cool. God Country, yeah, that's cool. Born Again's great. I've never read crossover, and I've only checked out the Batman by those two gents a couple times. I love Capullo though. He's fantastic. He's very fantastic. Especially his stuff on Spawn I loved. I liked his stuff on X-Force back in the day. That was cool. Yeah, he's great. Give Spidey some good solid blacks here. Maybe that'll help him pop out a little bit from that background. lost it there. Where did it go? Huh, I didn't know Coppola was going over there. That's cool. Could be neat. That's kind of working, I think, maybe, hopefully. Do I own any original art? Yes, I do. I do. I have a very modest collection, but it is full of some stuff that really means a lot to me. Can't really show any of it right at this moment, but yeah, I got some good stuff in there. A lot from friends, a lot from people that I like. I'd like to get a lot more. I think if I had a little more money, I would have a lot more art. But yeah, I've got some good stuff. The first piece of original art I ever bought was a page by Seth Fisher. So Seth Fisher was an artist in the early 2000s, I think is when he was mostly kind of active, and kind of a theme tonight, I guess. He died before his time. I think he was only like 32, but he was one of my favorite artists, and before he passed, I was able to meet him at San Diego Comic-Con and exchange some emails with him, and he was the first professional that really gave me time, and said, hey, whatever questions you have, let me know, and would give me really helpful responses, and really, he was great. He was awesome. He was the nicest guy, and he was a very, very good artist, and big influence on me, especially at the time. And when I heard that he passed, I also heard that he had a wife and kid left behind, and they were selling some of the art. So I bought a page back then from Green Lantern Will World, which is a really cool Green Lantern-y book he did with I think J.M. DeMatteis is the writer, and so that one is my first piece and probably one of my more prized pieces, because it was the first, and because he was someone that really was encouraging to me when I was still trying to learn how to do things. But I got some other folks in there. I got some Brian Level. I got some Isabella Rotman. I got a bunch of Daniel Warren Johnson stuff. I got Jim Terry, Aaron Conley. Who else? Bunch. I mean, just tons of a lot of it's friends or people that I know in some way. But yeah, I like my collection. like I said, it's still growing. Okay. All right. So let me see if I got some tones. That'll work. Let's see what we got here. I should just buy more of this. There's this one kind that I always want to use. I should just buy more of it. This one work? I don't know if that's deep enough. It is not. I'm gonna have to go with the big one. Okay, I got one of those. Alright, we'll go with this. If this one will work. A Stegman commission from when you were 10. Well, that's old school Stegman then. Anyone who's mentored me or given me good advice. I mean, everybody that's been kind enough to talk to me has given me something, that's been useful to me. I don't know if I've had a mentor per se. My art school teachers were definitely mentors. And, wait, did I just get the same one? I did, didn't I? It's more been, honestly, like rather than just having a mentor, one of the things I do feel like I've had is just a group of friends and colleagues that are willing to discuss work together and give me advice and trade advice. And so, yeah, I mean, the biggest two probably being my friends Dan and Landis. Danny Warren Johnson and Landis Blair have been just really big helps to me, and we have a great rapport. And then some other people I've been drawn around for a long time, like Beth Hetland and who else have I been drawing around for a long time? A lot of people. But I'm going to tone this. We'll see if this works. This might not even work. I might have painted too big of a corner for myself. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Okay. Yeah. you should definitely get a page. I actually, on the podcast I mentioned earlier that I was on, we were talking about original art, and I love having art, and I love the idea of my art being in someone else's hands. Um, you just get to have this different kind of connection with something that already had meaning for you. In the case of, like, say, a comic, where you're spending time and space with something that the artist spent time and space with, and it brings you a little bit closer to the process. And as an artist, I love that. Like, on both sides, I love being someone experiencing another person's art live, but I also like the idea that other people are looking at mine. So it brings me a lot of joy. Uh-oh. It's kind of hard to get these just right sometimes. You do your best. Close enough. Yeah, I agree, Eli. I agree. I agree. Uh-oh. Went through the paper. Darn it. Come on now. Alright, here we go. What in the world? I must have cut that wrong over here, huh? Sometimes it gets kind of rolled up, and you have to fix it. A little off tonight, aren't I? Come on now. Alright, there we go. Okay. This stuff is really fun, but it also can be frustrating if you're having a wobbly day. Good enough. Good enough for who it's for. Which is me. don't know, maybe somebody will like to have this one. We'll see. All right. This is the part where I always lean my head in, so I apologize if that happens. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. Oh, thanks, Next Issue Podcast, for the kind words on the Schlub. And definitely check us out the second issue for sure. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, hey, there you go. Get a Mobius page for $120,000. That's a bargain for Mobius. Screen tones are pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're not... I think they're supposed to be a disposable sort of a tool, you know, where you're not supposed to think too hard about being, you know, judicious with them. Because in manga, they use them all the time. But I think that what happens is that we're not used to paying $2 a sheet for these kind of things in America. So I think we all are kind of like, oh, these are expensive. And so we do use them kind of judiciously. And that's another thing I'm trying to just be like, well, if I want to use it, I'll use it. And if I need more, I need more. I mean, I already spend so much on other stuff. Why am I so worried about this one thing? If you used it on 11x17 art for a whole issue, yeah, that would add up maybe a little more than it's worth. But yeah, on this manga size paper, it's actually made to fit that too. So I'm hoping to maybe explore it a little bit more on there with some sequentials. We'll see. I'm always just nervous about reproduction, but with the Inktober stuff, the goal is always to make something cool for myself that month. And if I can get it to reproduce, great. You know, like that's a bonus. If I can sell it, extra bonus. But the original art is the main thing I'm working on for those. See, but that's the fun part. Yanking that off of there. So I added this size as an option for my commission list. I used to only do this size at conventions, but it's a fun size to work in, and I like doing this sort of this way where I do a, you know, like maybe a name on there with it, and it's just sort of one figure. I have a lot of fun with this size, so I started offering it in my regular commission list, not just only at shows. So we'll see if anybody takes me up on it. And it's also a little bit more, you know, it's cheaper, so a little more affordable. Because, hey, I know, I ain't spending tons of money on commissions either, man. Like, I just don't have the money for it. So I do appreciate it when people do ask me to do it. I take it as an honor, and I totally respect that it's a lot of money, you know, for some people. And so I'm always, you know, I always try to put my best effort into it when I do commissions for folks. So, just in case anyone thought I was slacking off, I am not. All right. Let's take care of this. Oh, should press that down better, huh? I'm gonna have screen tones all over me. Oy. That's always what happens. There we go. Now you can see him. Alright, let's get his web scratched down a little bit here. Oh boy, I might have to change blades. This is brutal. Yeah, I'm not sure I can hang with that. That's too dull. Yeah, it just pops after that. I'll try not to ruin it at this point. We'll see what I can do. Okay, where's my blades? I got such a bad blade situation here. Here we go. Here's a fresh one. Watch me chop my finger off here on live YouTube. Look at this. I've had this box for like 30 years. And I just finally got it down to like 10 more. Because I threw a bunch away because I couldn't remember which ones were new and which ones were old. So I need to find a better way to dispose of these things. Alright, let's pop this in. Yeah, I've probably had these blades for that long and this holder for almost that long. It's one of those tools that just kind of never, I don't know, doesn't go bad, you know? It's like, I don't know why you'd have to buy more than one X-Acto knife in your life. Hey, that rhymes. Ooh, yeah, see, that's butter. That's better already. That's when it's fun. Here's when it's nice and smooth like that. Okay, so how much do I want to embellish on these buildings is the question. Or these letters, I guess I should say. I guess it needs to enhance the overall letter shape. So let's start by doing that. Let's see how that looks. And if you're an ASMR person, you might love or hate this sound. I don't know. Yeah, Aiden, you can have it. Once it's up for sale on my website, you can give me some money and you can have it. No, I'm glad you like it, man. I kind of like it too. The other question is, do I want to draw the webbing on him or not? I've got a lot of lines on here already. So these are the questions I'm asking myself. There's like, what is the best use of my time? And what is the best use of this piece itself? I think I need to darken in these other areas a little bit, and then I'll go in and kind of fix up this figure. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Take out a couple of these chunks here. Thanks, Eli. Yeah, I will be posting all this on the socials, and you can always come back to my YouTube if you miss something and watch. I keep these up. They don't show up in the videos section. They show up in the live section, which I kind of hate. Or maybe there's a way I can make my live section be the front page. But in any case, you can always go back and watch them. These will usually get posted on socials right after I'm done. And then I usually put them up for sale within the week of when I do them. And if I don't put it up for sale, you can always reach out and ask about it. But yeah, I will be posting this when it's done. I have a feeling this one will be... Yeah, we'll see. But I will put it on there. Alright, let's get some more black on here so I feel better about it. I need another water break. My water bottle here. I got my Do a Power Bomb belt. I got a Aaron Conley sticker and a Landis Blair skull on there. I need to put some more stickers on here. I got a bunch and I had nowhere to put them for a while, and then I was like, oh, I could put them on my water bottle. And then I only put 3 on there and I stopped. So I should probably just cover it. Or save them for when it starts running out. Alright, this is kind of coming together a little bit. Just thinking up some of these energy shapes here. Throw them forward a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Something's peeling up over here. What is it? It's kind of a dance, you know, you just sort of like in and out. Okay. All right, all right. Oh yeah, I want to black this out. All right. This is sort of working. We are going to need a little bit of white, especially right there where I just messed that up. I guess I got to do some lines on him because I got him on his fingers, eh? Let's be judicious, alright? Let's be judicious. rewatch the Schlub. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. Here, I'll do some heron lines here. He likes these lines that's straight right across the surface here. And it does look cool. It does look cool. It is a neat trick. Alright, we're closing in on it though, folks. We're closing in on it. Maybe I'll leave him a little loose here. Go against my nature. And we'll keep Spidey a little loose. Let's just add some more lines for us here. I kind of like it loose. I don't know about y'all. I kind of like it loose. Needs some white, but it's very close. Very close to being acceptable as a Tuesday night with Tyrell. Let's do a few more strokes with that. Alright. Where's my white? White's always gotta be last because I gotta get off after I do the white. I gotta get off the stream, clean my brush. So, alright, where's my Q-tips? There we go. Give it a little stir here. I'm using Pro White Dollar Rounty. Alright. Alright, Pete. Let's see where we're going here, Peter. Okay, first things first. We're going to pop some windows on here in the background. Peter Beater. Yeah, there we go. Just a little bit of that action. Yeah, okay. Now the white doesn't love to sit on the zip tone, so I'm going to try to avoid that. I will go over it a little bit, but it's not crazy about sitting on the zip tone. It's a little too smooth, I think, for it to grab it. Aiden, thanks for checking it out, man. Appreciate you watching. Hope to see you next week. Stay tuned for more next week. If you come back, I'll have some more exciting news. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. I'm gonna go over it right here, see what happens. I threw it on there anyway. Against my better judgment yet again. I always like it when the web is like kind of all tangled around him, Todd McFarlane style. That's one other thing I like about Todd's version of Spider-Man, is the web kind of just being all over the place. Well, I think we got a drawing here, folks. I think that's just about good enough. All right. Well, here, let me just fix this. His crotch is still sort of bothering me here. I sort of lost something right here. You always got to check the crotch, man. You got to check the crotch, make sure everything's in order. Yeah, it's Spider-Man. Do I need to pop red on there? Nah, just let it live like this. Let it live. Maybe I can print it up, let my daughter color it or something. All right. Let's add my Herbie Hancock over here. We'll go right here. All right, folks, there's Spider-Man. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Next week, you don't want to miss it. I will have some cool stuff going on, and more Schlub news and more Schlub previews. Thank you everyone who've read the book so far. If you haven't picked up issue 1, go do it now, and make sure you pre-order issue 2. The final order cutoff for issue 2, I believe, is September 4th. Now that we're with Luna, or whatever they're called, Lunar. So make sure that you go get that order in at your local shop, because you will not want to miss issue 2. I introduce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We introduce 7 new characters in the next issue, so you're not going to want to miss it. But thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your evenings. Rock and roll. Read comics. Talk to you later.